Brexit and the UK's potential loss of passporting rights are bound to have a big impact on private banking and on European financial centres that aim at attracting such businesses away from London. Which of these IFCs will be most successful in this endeavour? I'll be asking Yuri, the editor of PWM, which is a sister publication to The Banker. Yuri, thank you for joining me. So tell me, which financial centres have been more perhaps aggressive and also potentially more successful in this bid?
Well, there's a lot being talked about all of these areas, but how much activity there's actually going to be is another matter, really. But if we look at who's in the frame to win some of this business from London, and London is very much I think there's almost a fatalistic attitude. They know that the jobs are going to be lost here. How many is another question. Well, it's probably 10,000 minimum, 60,000 at the top end. Somewhere in between the two is a likely figure. New York is definitely going to gain. But if we look at Europe, more on the doorstep, who's marketing themselves quite aggressively? Luxembourg, the Grand Duchy of Luxembourg, tiny country, just an hour's flight away from City Airport, and they're coming here in if not in great numbers, they're coming here regularly to market themselves as a funds hub for distribution to Europe. And they're not just looking at London, funnily enough, they're looking at Asian banks, they're looking at American banks.
So they're really seeing this as an opportunity to perhaps raise a bit the game and their status as well as in asset management. Private banking also, would you put them in that category? Hub in Europe. So definitely they have a lot of asset management skill and expertise and tradition even. But then when we talk to our contacts in the market, a lot of them are raising doubts about the language. A lot of the meetings perhaps in Luxembourg are still being held in French, not in English. The size of the place, the need for potentially moving families and setting up a life there, including finding the right school. So how would you rate Luxembourg's actual ability to succeed in this bid?
Well, I mean, you're raising the question of that whole ecosystem, the schools, the culture, the restaurants, the leisure and sports facilities. Luxembourg's improved a lot since I first went there 25 years ago. And if we look at that Kennedy Avenue, if we look at all the building that's going on there, I mean, there's huge investment there in infrastructure. In terms of languages, I don't think people will have too many problems with the English language there. I mean, Dublin, a lot of the American banks do prefer Dublin, especially for hedge funds and the alternative assets industry. But they see a cultural link there, and obviously English is very much the first language there. But I don't see too many language problems with Luxembourg. What I do see is as you alluded to, the recruitment of staff in the future. If all the initiatives that Luxembourg is talking about, if they all actually come off, they may struggle to get all the staff necessary to fulfill all those commitments.
Okay, so that's something for Luxembourg to focus on. You mentioned Dublin, again, it's been all over the media and in corporate announcements about as a potential destination and an alternative to Brexit London. And you've covered the benefits of and the pros of setting up shop in Dublin. But what other financial centres do you think, which are perhaps less known to wider audiences, are also potentially interesting?
Well, coming up on the blind side is Madrid, the Spanish capital. And it hasn't really been traditionally thought of as a major financial centre. But if we look at UBS, they're looking at it potentially basing several hundred more people there. And Madrid it's been quietly working on its act. It's been the infrastructure there. There's been investment there. If we look at that whole area of northern Madrid, north of the Paseo de Castellana, it's quite a derelict area. But now the investment that's going to be going in there, BBVA alone, the Spanish bank, are going to put €6 billion into that project in terms of real estate investment. We're talking about new metro stations, diverting railway lines, massive projects there. And when that is finished, that there'll be capacity for an extra 40,000 new employees there, and a lot of those in financial services. When you talk about Frankfurt, Paris, Amsterdam, they would have trouble absorbing those numbers.
They're already perhaps almost at capacity.
Almost, yes. When it comes to those kind of numbers, I don't think those cities can absorb them. But Madrid, with that investment in the infrastructure, with this major real estate projects going on, Madrid could well surprise us. Look at the rentals there. They're probably a third of what they are in Paris. And then the number, you've got 15 universities in Madrid, at least 3 business schools. Those kind of statistics, and if we look at the workforce, I think it's something like 46% of the workforce are graduates. Very impressive statistics for Madrid.
The potential is there to create the right ecosystem for an even larger financial center. Madrid obviously already is quite an interesting and
potential is huge in Madrid, absolutely massive. Then further to the east.
Yes, I was about to ask you. Let's look at Eastern Europe.
Further to the east, Warsaw. It feels like it's booming at the moment. The growth is higher than other European capitals, and as the head of the investment agency said to me the other day, we're talking about West European quality at East European prices, and I think there's
again,
something
cost
to be
very
said for
important.
That. Cost is very important, but language as well. I mean, the level of the language expertise. I got talking to one guy in Warsaw, and I said to him, "Which part of Poland are you from?" And he said to me, "Ealing Broadway." And you know, obviously there's a lot of people who've lived in and worked in the UK, and many of these are now coming back to Poland.
And whose future very much is in doubt because of Brexit. So we're probably going to see anyway an outflow perhaps of Europeans back to their regional cities, maybe with Brexit, and also perhaps an outflow of businesses from London. So we shall keep on monitoring this area. Very, very interesting indeed. Thank you, Yuri, for your comments.
Thank you.